Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Kayak Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Nation. Kayak Nation. Yeah, welcome to the Kayak Nation. Kayak Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. Happy Monday. What's up, Ryan?
Living the dream, buddy. I'm back here in my home away from home, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee. You're making money after you've been making money. Making money in your real job up there.
I like it.
Good deal. Yeah, man.
It's a gift that keeps on giving, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. You gonna go partake in the community after we're done here, or what? Get you something to eat?
I don't know. Yes.
I
gotta go see my title. I gotta go see my title sponsor, Twin Peaks.
Okay. Yeah.
Here in a little bit. Make sure everything's still cold.
What's up? Yeah. All right. Well, it was a busy weekend, man. Couple tournaments back to back over in one of the Carolinas. Where's Lake Murray at? South Carolina, North Carolina? I was getting confused. It's on the East Coast.
I don't know nothing about either one of the Carolinas except Vinny and them run around. That's all I know.
All right, we'll have Cody clear that up for us. But Cody dominated the weekend. We're gonna have him on here in just a minute. And then the Texas Kayak Championships. They had their second big money tournament over in Texas. That happened. That went down as well. But yeah, and before we get Cody on, shout out to
How'd
the guy.
that go?
Let's see. I got it pulled up here. I'll bring it up for you. If I can remember how to do it, I'll pull it up for us. How about that? There we go. All right. Yeah. Clayton Swafford won that one over in Texas.
Okay.
But Big Stick Brian
Clayton.
Howe. Big Stick Brian Howe in second place.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah. Big Stick. And then Matt Scotch, Matt Fleck, Guillermo, a couple more names in the top 10. So
nice.
Surprise, right? And then yeah, before we get Cody on, we talked about having this guy on. I'm not familiar with his name, but Rick, I can't pronounce his name. Gaviria? I don't know.
I like
Rick Garavaglia. He won day one over there on Lake Murray. So good. Shout out to you, Rick. Heck of a first day. 92 3/4 inches for you. And then Matt Conant, national champ, second place.
And honestly, did Conant get second place on both days?
Both days. Yeah, he went back to back, second place.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did. Let's see. I got that
That's
pulled up.
pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
He did. He went 92 inches and 87 inches back to back, second place both days. How about that? The Northeastern.
That's awesome. Hey, consistency, buddy. That's it.
Yeah, and shout out to them. I mean, last year KBF came out the gates kind of struggling with numbers. They had two huge tournaments, back-to-back days, 150 and 128, I think. So
yeah, yep.
Something's going on.
Come up, son.
Yeah, maybe we can ask Cody what's changed or what happened, because something's changed. Maybe it's less is more, less tournaments. I don't know.
I think that was a lot of it. You can't have 60 tournaments and expect 100 plus to show at all of them. So I definitely think narrowing that down is going to help people kind of make their schedule, every year.
Yeah.
I'm in Knoxville, Joey Randall, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, let's take a quick break and get Cody in here. Enough beating around the bush. What do you say?
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Welcome to the Kayak Nation.
KBN Live is brought to you by Western Sun Vodka. Western Sun Vodka is a 10 times distilled, award-winning, gluten-free vodka. They are independently owned and crafted in Pilot Point, Texas.
Welcome to the Kayak Nation.
Cody Milton, what's up, man?
How's it going?
All right. Thanks for taking your time. I know you probably wore out from a long weekend and drive home. You're all the way back home now, right?
I got back about 45 minutes ago. Yep.
Right on time.
Hey,
Right on time.
already ate 2 pounds of crawfish when I got back and ready to go.
What?
Yeah.
Those fresh Arkansas crawfish?
My girlfriend was in Baton Rouge all weekend, so
Oh.
we got the
I got you,
Louisiana
I got you.
Cajun crawfish this time.
I thought he was digging out
hookup,
the White River crawls. That's how them Browns get so big.
No, not this time. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
Well,
what happened? Tell us about the weekend. I mean, day one, what was your day one total?
I think I had 86, 87, something like that. I finished fourth. I think at 87-ish or so. But man, it was kind of weird. Like I got there late Tuesday, and I didn't catch a bite. Literally didn't land a bass on Wednesday or Thursday, which seemed pretty typical. I mean, everybody you ran into in the boats didn't catch a thing, And I was like, well, I guess I'm either going to the dam or the dam. So I went to one of them. And it was first morning, Josh Stewart and I launched, and first 10 minutes I landed 23-incher on a Ned rig, and an hour later Josh catches a 25 3/4, and I was like, there's probably something to this. So we kind of dug into that and caught a lot of fish, but we really didn't catch any more big ones. In the first day we didn't catch any big ones. I think I might have had a 19.5 and
Did you just say
an
25 3/4?
He caught a lot bigger fish than I did. He's holding it back. He's letting mine steam, but he's bringing it.
okay. He's got picks for proof. Then, huh?
He does. Yep.
So I was telling Cody before we came on that he's I guess Josh even more so making the case to not have that 26-inch board in your boat.
Right. I mean, I the first. I've got a picture paddling up to him, and it looks like the fish just swallows the entire board, entire catch board. It's pretty cool.
Insane.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in pre-fishing.
That was on Friday, yeah. And it
Yeah.
was I think Josh had landed one fish in 2 days or something. It was brutal. But we finally kind of got in an area that had some fish in it and kind of made it happen.
I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say. Hey, we got the number one comment so far in all caps. Is that a freaking haircut, Cody Milton? We're getting used to the long locks. What happened?
I just decided to clean it up a little bit, go the clean cut route, and see how that would take me for a little while.
I got you. Worked out.
Yeah, it did.
You were getting mistaken for Jordan Marshall too many times.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, I cut it 2 days after I got back from Kissimmee. I was like, dude, I'm just done with this. I'm just so here. So that's how it went down.
I got you.
Yeah. Had to change something, so I guess it was the right decision.
Yeah, the mojo. I like it.
My apologies. Earlier, I shared our link to this, and I think, are you related to some L rods? Because I guess it might have been your mom and your aunt liking the status about the best legs of kayak. And I was like, oh, my bad. My apologies.
Yeah. It's my mom's maiden name. Yeah.
I got you. That's the kayak cushion guy. That's Brandon Elrod. Y'all probably long lost cousins or something.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Plains of Arkansas, right on the Mississippi River.
Good stuff, man.
Yep.
Well, tell us a little bit about. You said you didn't tear them up pre-fishing day one. What'd you stumble onto to make it happen?
So I mean, I kind of found a little something Friday, but I don't know. I probably made a little bit of a mistake. I was just, I don't know. I was just like, man, I'm gonna catch some fish, and I threw a shaky head in a Ned rig for the first, probably hour before. I was just like, I'm gonna catch a limit, and I did, and I don't know, kind of lo and behold, I felt like it was probably better to do that later in the day and like, throw those bigger spinner baits in the morning. And I don't know, I kind of did like the opposite the first day. Like I like caught a limit and then like went big, throwing like a 1 ounce and 3/4 ounce spinner bait, in the afternoon. But the first day I just reversed the script and it was just like night and day difference. Like got some bigger ones to fire early in the morning. And then as the day went on, like I could fish some of those piles off the river and some of those brush piles and catch them on like a shakehead and a Ned rig.
Nice.
So I'm starting to like the Ned rig. I actually stopped at Bass Pro Shop and got some more for Broken Bow. So
Really? Okay.
yeah. Dude.
Turns out they're not that bad.
Dude, it turns out they'll eat it when they don't eat other things.
Yep. That's a
So
fact.
it was like the last 22 and a half, like I'd caught a couple 17s in that same little eddy or in like on Saturday, and like I throw in there with the shaky head, jump off like a 5-pounder, and throw in there a lot more, don't catch anything, and then I'd like go to the other side, stay over there for 20 or 30 minutes, and I go back over there, throw a shaky head in the same pile, nothing, and I throw a Ned rig and got that like 7-pounder at 22 and a half or whatever, like on 7-pound line, 7-pound gamma, so. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Those
what was your big fish?
Too.
What'd you catch your big fish on? It was like a 20 million inch fish or whatever.
Yeah, it was 25 inches.
Is that? Don't say that was on the Ned too.
No, a 1 ounce spinner bait.
All
Yeah,
right.
1 ounce river special.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
I think I saw the pic of that. You could see everything laying in the floor of your boat. You had busted up spinner bait, a little bit of river trash laying around.
Some fire crawl, you name it, everything.
Yeah. Let's see if I can pull that thing up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good kicker. That's a good kicker if you're going to have one.
Right. Yeah. It was pretty good. It was a good one.
Yeah, there she is. Is that the bait right there?
There it is.
Laying over there on the side?
It is,
Wow.
yeah. That's it over on the left.
The juice.
Yep.
Gosh.
Mondo.
Mm-hmm. It like barely beat my one that night tournament in Arkansas. I had like a 24 3/4.
I remember that
4 years ago.
Freaking Bella Vista, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude, one of those tiny lakes. It was like a 10. It was like a 10-12 or something like that. I weighed that one, but I didn't get to weigh this last one. So
Yeah, Ryan, for reference, Bella Vista lakes are well known for having
nothing.
a million 10-inch bass all over the lake, but then the occasional big one. They stock it. Some of those, was it the lake they stock with trout?
Yeah, no, I was on the trout lake. Yeah,
okay.
It was Brittany or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Catching the big ones in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy,
it's crazy. That is crazy.
So, what'd you do from day one to day two? Did you make any kind of adjustment?
Man, so it was kind of like, it was one of those things. It was like the first day, I did fit slower, but I also just kind of like led the charge, like went down first, and hit everything first. And then it was like that second day, like, I did well doing that. It like seemed like a lot of other people, rushed down, and it was like I just kind of held up the first day and like fished. I fished slower, but at the same time was throwing faster baits. Like I fished the areas I kind of knew there was fish in and just fished them with faster baits. That and like I really didn't throw a 3/4 ounce and a 1 ounce spinnerbait that first day. I played around a lot more with like a chatterbait and like a jig and stuff. But no, that like holding that 3/4 ounce spinnerbait down those banks was the key. Because a lot of those banks you'd find were like, pretty cut at like 9 foot, and there'd be a ton of wood under them. But I mean, it's hard to get a bait down 9 foot right on the bank, and it was just like the best way to do it was just drift a spinnerbait down the bank. And it was like things would just shoot out and they just like take it out into the river. It was cool. It was pretty fun. Like every one of them ate it like a striper. Like, as I was catching a lot of stripers too, and I was like, everyone you thought was a striper, and they wouldn't jump because it was so cold. So like I like thoroughly thought I had a striper when I caught that 25-incher, but it wasn't.
So it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No little soft bites. They were all
no, dude. They would
violent.
Slam it and just run. Like it was cool. It was really cool.
Trying to look in the comments here.
Mel Ash sent me a selfie. Everett is making his triumphant return to KBN. I think this is his third visit to the page tonight, supporting you. So welcome back, Everett. Thank you for coming in.
Welcome.
Loved your outfit, sweatpants, Crocs, and the oldest frontier on earth. I think was the
Yep.
quote.
That's right. Whatever works. That's the key, right? Whatever works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had some people thinking I was in like a prototype boat, and I was like, no, that's from 2012.
Throwback prototype. So, so let me ask you this, Cody. The way KBF did things this year, and I want to get to a question about KBF in general here in a little bit, but when you fish 2-day tournaments, you got to manage your fish a little bit, right? But these are separate tournaments. So do you still manage your fish, or do you just go all out for each day? How's that work for you?
Man, it's kind of unique because there's some other sides to it. Like for one, no, I mean, I don't really manage them. No, I mean, I feel like you just have to try to win the 1-day tournament. But on the other side of that is like, you have 5, 6, 7 people launching with you, however many it is at most tournaments. And it's like, a lot of times, like, you beat everyone out of a ramp or something, it's like, you kind of get the willpower to go where you need or something. On those like single 1-day tournaments, it's just like, it's just all a free for all the next day, and it's like, that's kind of weird to deal with, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. That's how it should be, but it is like a unique challenge to kind of think about, I guess. But, I don't know. I mean, I really like them. And one thing that was kind of interesting was like, I think they had 158 the first day and like 132 or some anglers the second day.
Right.
But they actually had a total of like 197, 98 anglers. So I don't know. I guess it did aid some guys that can only fish 1 day, which is kind of, it's kind of neat. You don't really, I don't know. I guess I probably never thought about it from that standpoint.
So in other words, there's a lot of guys on Sunday that were unique.
Yeah.
They did not fish Saturday at all.
They could only fish on Sunday. Yeah. Like they were working Saturday and could only make it on Sunday. So like that does open it up.
Did you plan yourself to just win day 2?
No, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I floated on Friday, like when I fished on Friday, I told Josh, I was like, man, I think we can do good tomorrow, but I think we're still gonna learn this more tomorrow. And like, I think to a degree we did. I mean, it was like obviously you still had to catch the fish and move through the areas you needed to, but I mean, you also learned a lot. And like I said, like I just reversed exactly what I did. Like what I did in the afternoons, what I did in the morning on Sunday, and it was the key. Like I didn't realize I could cover water in the morning and get bites. I really thought I had to slow down, and it really wasn't the case.
How many times did y'all fish that area? Was it
once.
Like a okay?
Yeah, no, just once. Yeah, I mean we just fished it once.
This is where it's going to go down.
Oh, I mean I didn't catch a bass anywhere else. Yeah. I didn't catch a bass anywhere else on Wednesday or Thursday. So, I mean, but I mean, granted, we caught him really good on Friday. So I knew we had something. I really didn't know what it was, I guess.
Yeah. And that was going to be my next question.
Did Josh end up doing all right?
I think Josh finished 7th or 8th on Sunday, but it was kind of, how some of that stuff is. Like there was just as many 14-inch fish as there was like good bass, and it was like, it was really hard to really even get a limit of all like 15-inch fish, much less bigger than that. And it was, I don't know, it was just different. I feel like you had to almost target them a little differently. Like those bigger ones were in the same places those small ones were. It's just you almost had to stay there longer to a degree.
So he finished 8th on Sunday, had 84.5 inches. Yeah. So were you guys sharing water? Were you leapfrogging? How'd you manage that?
Not really. The first day we kind of drifted through a little more together, but that second day I kind of I caught him really good at like the mouth of one little creek that was coming in, and I think Josh got stayed there pretty much the most the second day and got a lot of his fish there. And I caught like a 20 and 18.5 on like back-to-back casts, and then floated down like 100 yards and caught that 25 and then pedaled back up to get a picture. But yeah, I don't think he was like super, super happy at that point.
So y'all did a float, correct?
Yeah, we did. We floated like 4.5 miles or something.
So like Sean asked a question. He said it's important in these tournaments to work with multiple people in pre-fishing. I don't think the point here is working with multiple people in pre-fishing, but if you're doing a river float, you generally want to have a vehicle at the put in and one at the takeout, or else you're trying to Uber or hitchhike, and that's not a position you want to be in when you're trying to get fish submitted at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, and Josh did. He did hitchhike on the last day. He made it back around 5:00. Yeah.
I mean, it's happened, man. I've had to call people to come pick me up at the ramp. Like
there were
that's what
so
happens
many
if you
bank
don't plan
fishermen.
ahead.
I think he just grabbed the bank fisherman and they just took him to the other side. But yeah, it worked out. Worked out good.
That's legit. That's funny.
Yep.
That's funny, man.
That sounds like y'all had a really good tournament. That's a good stretch you picked.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a fun day for sure.
Well, we're going to get Dusty on here in a minute and then talk to him about his harrowing experience. But I wanted to ask you real quick, and I guess Dusty, when we get him on, we can ask him the same thing.
Yeah.
What about I know earlier in the year, but KBF, has grown over the years. It's no secret Ryan and I have been outspoken critics of the organization. We always support you guys in the anglers fishing. But they seem to have revamped, regrouped, kind of maybe done more with less. What do you think of what they did this year to have such success out of the gate with attendance down at Invitational and at this event and going forward? Is it locations? Is it schedule? Is it all the above? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think y'all kind of touched on it earlier. I mean, I know, Chad's always said, if I only ran 8 or 9 tournaments a year, I could run them all, similar to a national championship or similar to like really big tournaments. And like, dude, so far that's how they've been. Like that tournament, like, dude, you could order anything on the menu you wanted and they would just show up and it was free. And it was like, like the Kissimmee events were the same. And I mean, I guess apparently, most of all the, coming tournaments are going to be the same way, like be at these really big outdoor restaurant venues. And, I don't know. I mean, it's a good schedule, but I mean, as much as anything, I think it's like, you kind of seen all 3 of the series kind of equalize out to having that 7 to 9 tournament thing. And that's the MO now. Like it's almost already to the point where you can't do it all. So like pushing over what someone else is doing, doesn't really help. And I think them dialing it back made a tremendous amount, a difference. I mean, in my opinion, I've always fished everything and kind of, I'll fish whatever's close or whatever's far away. It doesn't really matter. But no, I mean, it seems, and it is early in the year. Like, most of the time, all these early tournaments, everybody wants to do it until it gets tough. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like
cabin fever. You want to run out.
They're always big out the gate, and then it kind of dwindles as things go on. But and I'm not saying that'll happen. I just it definitely seems as a whole with the Hobies being more than they've ever been, at Seminole, and with the KBFs being more than they've ever been. Like, I mean, you definitely think that's going to continue on to some degree, anyways.
Yeah, and I think BASS Fork's sitting there with nearly 200.
Yeah.
Is it over 200 now?
I heard that it was at 190 and still processing 20 or 30 more. So it should be, 220, 230.
I think everybody's kind of settling in to their place in the market. I think I think Bass has the potential, just because of their name alone. Bass has the potential to be the top tier if they will develop it. I'm not taking anything away from Hobie. Bass will have to develop their program, but they just name recognition. They have the ability to be the top tier. Hobie definitely has the ability to be elite, because in my opinion, they've set the standard thus far as quality of big events goes. And then I think KBF kind of pulled back, said, all right, Bass, Hobie, y'all have the big money events. We're going to settle into this middle ground between grassroots and the $260 entry events. And I think everybody's kind of equaling out, which there's more than enough room in the market, for everybody to be successful. But I think that's what we're witnessing right now. And I like it. I like seeing it happen.
Yep. I agree.
Something for everybody. Mm-hmm. Well, Cody, we hope you stick around. We're going to bring Dusty here in just a second and talk to him. If anyone read, I don't know if anyone read Dusty's stuff on Facebook or knows what happened, but it was quite a story. We can all learn from it. So let me see if I can get him in here, and we'll talk to him about that.
It took me 20 minutes, but I did read the story that he typed. I had to get out the thesaurus and check it.
He's a heck of a writer, though. He's a heck of a writer.
Boy's got some words. He's got some words.
I would say he's kayak fishing's greatest wordsmith.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. See
him or Chase Tanner's Azure redfish tails.
Dusty, what is up, man?
What's up, guys? How are you, man?
All right. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I can't lie. It's been an emotional day because I think that after the incident, I think what I found out is that I was basically running on adrenaline, maybe shot, maybe adrenaline. Because man, halfway home, I hit a brick wall of, just a brick wall physically. Like I realized there was millions of little cuts all over my hand. My shoulders are all sore, and my legs. Just the tournament grind in itself is a sore thing, but the incident was kind of required a lot of physicality, and it just doesn't hit you for a couple of days. It's all weird, and yeah, today has kind of been a whirlwind of emotions and kind of recuperating physically.
I got you. Well, take us back through it, man. What led up to that, and what exactly happened?
Well, you know what? I'm on a river. Cody and I were fishing similar water, doing real similar things, and I felt, he basically. I felt the same way he did. I felt really good about that spot and what was going on. And, it's a river. It's got moving water. It was moving pretty good. High 2s, low 3s, mile per hour. That could be dangerous. I'm not new to rivers. I've been fishing rivers for quite some time. I respect them. I know how dangerous they are. I know that you have to keep your head on a swivel. I know spots to avoid, spots to slow down to. With the Hobie, I'm very familiar with it and its maneuverability. But it was just a freak thing. What had happened was coming around the bend of the river, it starts, around the bend of a river, the current will pick back up and get real fast at a certain spot. And there was a big giant laydown. They call it a strainer in a river. And my swim jig that I was using got caught in the pedal drive. And it just took that. It just took 1 or 2 seconds of me looking down and trying to do this thing to get it out. And then seeing this thing and saying, okay, I still have time. But I didn't pop it in reverse, and instead I tried to go around, and that was just not a smart move because with the current, first off, they don't turn on a dime. I didn't have my 360. I had the PA 12. If I had my 360, it might be a different story because that's a much more versatile and maneuverable rig in any scenario. But I didn't pop it in reverse, and instead I hit the strainer dead on, went parallel, over in a second. I was in the water before I knew it, and I didn't come up the way I thought I would, or the way that you normally experience water when you're swimming or diving in. The life vest brought me back up, and it brought me back up right in the laydown. And I couldn't move. Like I couldn't do this, or I couldn't really kick my legs because there was branches all around me. And what had happened is my hoodie was caught on something. So I'm like this, and the water's here, and I have my eyes and my mouth out of the water, and it's just pouring over me. And I'm trying to get up like this. Just so that I could see what's going on and stuff, but I really couldn't. And, it's just one of those, sorry, man.
No, that's all right. Get yourself together, man.
Dude. So I'm sorry, man.
No, that's all right. Yeah, that just reading it was emotional for a lot of people. So
yeah, it was real bad for a second. I pretty much made my peace with the world and with what I had done, and I joke around sometimes with people who with my family and stuff like that. I say, if I'm gonna die, if I'm gonna go, that'd be a great way to go, doing what I love to do. And there's some truth to that, but get to that point where you face that reality, and you don't want that. And I don't really remember how long this was all taking place, man. I remember what I was thinking, and I remember how I was feeling for sure. But I took this hand and reached it back behind me, and it's just crazy. It's like I'm trying to do it now. And I'm hitting my back. I swear to God, it felt like I was 4 feet behind me. It was like I broke my arm. Like I pulled it out of the socket and grabbed this branch, and I snapped it. And it must have been the one, because then I spun around like this and bobbed back up like this, and I was like, "Oh, dude, there's my arms." So I grabbed the lay down, and I hunched it over like my stomach, and I went over it, and I tried to swim to the bank, but my clothes were, I've read these stories before, and there's a lot of similarities. You're in the water before you know it. Even though you're a great swimmer and you might be in shape, those wet clothes, especially the ones you're wearing in cooler weather. I had the NRS Boundary boots on. Those are light boots, but even those, they fill with water and they're so heavy. And I had my rain gear on and my bib. So just even swimming to shore after all of that earlier was really tough. But I eventually got there, and I found a spot where I could get up, and I had my phone in a waterproof case in my PFD. My life jacket was the only thing that got me up probably before I got sucked under the laydown, and it kept me up. I don't know if the snag on my hoodie was a bad thing or a good thing. The snag on my hoodie might have kept me from getting sucked under. But I've been wearing my PFD, and when it started drizzling, I put my raincoat over it. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know if it's a measurable difference, if that thing's visible or under. I'm not quite sure, but my chest was puffing up, and it was like the only thing keeping me above that water for a while. And it really assisted when I tried to get to the bank too. So I had the phone on me, and that was a great thing. And I made some calls. The funniest thing in the world was that apparently I texted emergency to Cody, and then when I was talking to Christine later, she's like, "When you spelled emergency wrong."
Oh, that's when I thought it was even worse.
So that was kind of funny. And then I made some necessary phone calls. I called 911, and I had some pretty good service on the river, so I was able to open maps, and it turned out I was just under 2 miles from the bridge. So it was just a matter of trying to get there as soon as possible, just walking along the bank to get to that bridge. And when you know you're on land and you're not going to die, and you're just kind of cold and shivering, but the stuff's right there, then some reality starts to hit in. And I had just dumped my kayak and all my gear. I lost $8,000-9,000 in combos and all my premium, just gone. And that's super painful because those are the only material possessions I really care about. I got a cool keyboard and a piano downstairs. Those are kind of sentimental to me, but I'm not a possession-y kind of guy. But that stuff's really important, and it was painstakingly collected over the last 2 or 3 years as I really got into this sport. Lots of money, and I feel really bad about carrying that much gear. It's something I kind of want to talk about, not too long because I have people to thank here. But one of the mistakes that I did was I carried too much gear. I carry too much gear, I think, in general. It was one of the things I was trying to slim down this past year because I believe that less is more. So I had too much stuff. There was 4 or 5 combos in there I probably knew I would never use at the launch ramp. So why those are in my boat on a moving river is just not a smart thing. And that crowdedness is a reason why that jig probably got stuck in my pedals, because there was just too much going on in my decks, and you can't do that in a fast-moving river. Two or 3, maybe 4 rods of the stuff maybe interchangeable universal rods that you can change a few things on, and maybe that's a little smart. Never have your rods in the back standing up too in that river. You'll just rip them out or destroy them. So make sure they're in the gunnels or horizontal. So yeah, it was a nasty experience. It was an accident. I mean, it could be avoided. There are lessons to learn here. I think one of them is that I no pun intended, but I kill myself during practice sometimes, and I even learned to draw back a little bit. But I was 30 minutes from getting picked up, and I had gone through the protective stretches, and I was greedily and selfishly just grinding away to try that little micro spot or somewhere I might be able to get a fish close to the launch or the pickup spot, just in case I needed that 5th kicker. And being so aggressive like that during practice, I mean, in hindsight, maybe I could have just been a little less aggressive, knowing that I was on a good thing and just prepping for Saturday. I felt like Cody did. I caught 30 fish. I was chunking a spinnerbait, double willow leaf spinnerbait. I was between a 1/2 ounce and 3/4 ounce, slow rolling it, letting it hit all that stuff in the river, and they were just slamming it. And I felt really good because also I caught 3 dinks in practice. They were random. They came off the docks, and I didn't feel good about it. So it just sucks that accident sort of derailed me. Yeah. But getting away from this, there's some real heroic stuff that I'd like to talk about, unless you guys have some specific questions that you'd like to ask me.
I wanted to ask about your PFD real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't have an inflatable on. You had a foam PFD. Do you think that made a difference?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Anything I might say is speculation and conjecture. Right. I mean, I don't know what it would have been like to go on with those inflatable ones. Now, what I do know is that I don't trust those. I don't have any experience with those. I've heard some horror stories about them. I mean, admittedly, I'm not the best guy with maintenance. That thing will sit in my basement for 2 years, and I'll just grab it and throw it on, and that's a recipe for. I'm gonna be wearing the foam kind for I think for life, definitely.
Yeah, with all the pockets in your phone, it just made me think, would you be able to have all that stuff on you? I don't know. Unbelievable story.
It was pure fate. So I get so lazy sometimes I put my phone right under the Vantage seat in the Hobie, and you know, on a towel, or even in the well of my Garmin cover. I'll flip that up and then just put like my phone and some, you know, little things in there. And, you know, on a river, you know, you get away with that on a lake on a lazy day, or even in some tournaments. But on a river, I think your boat needs to be streamlined and a little more organized. I mean, your life might not be threatened in most flips, but lose your gear is just, you know, crazy. That's just something it's awful. It's an awful feeling.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. Well, continue on. Didn't mean to interrupt your flow.
No, that's okay. But I think what the real important thing, other than safety, PFDs, have some sense of awareness of hypothermia and river conditions. It'd be good to mention the 120 rule on the show here. When water temperatures and air temperatures don't combine up to 120, that's a recipe for hypothermia, potential hypothermia. So might even be able to talk about dry suits a little, but I don't think that topic's controversial. But I mean, that's the one thing that will save your life in frigid temperatures. This was 47-degree water, 48-degree water. That's certainly enough to kill you. I don't know about you guys. What would you guess? Maybe 1, 2, or 3 people had dry suits in the tournament?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I talked about after Watts Bar, because, you know, Watts Bar, we launched Sunday, and my kayak floor was solid ice. I went to stand up, and it was solid ice, and I was by myself on the river, and I fell back into my seat, and I was like, "You're an idiot! Like, you're not prepared for this situation at all."
Correct.
Like, I had my phone in my bibs. You know, like, I don't have a dry suit on. I'm 2 miles from the launch. I mean, that could have went bad really quickly. And you think dry suits are overkill for this kind of stuff, but in these situations, it's not overkill. It's the difference between, you know, you being able to make it to the bank and stay alive or not. So I really think these wintertime tournaments, that's huge.
It is the absolute difference. I mean, I'd be a hypocrite if I said you need to go buy one and do these things. I've never bought one. And a lot of people that I know have never bought one. And even though we do take safety into consideration, and we've been doing this for such a long time, there still admittedly is the little aura and feeling of invincibility. Like, that's just not going to happen to me. There's a little bit of that. I don't care who you are. There's a shred of that in your head. And this lesson for me now takes that, you know, away. And I think that there will be some, you know, there'll be some permanent changes to my approach, especially on moving water. But that's my favorite thing. I mean, rivers and finding the fish and moving and tossing spinner baits and stuff. That's like one of my favorite things to do. So, I mean, I can't imagine quitting. So anyways, all that was said, the Saluda rescue team were wonderful and professional. And I got there. My wife was there. Everything was great. Cody was actually there. And I was able to, you know, take a warm shower, everything was great. Christine made a phone call. Christine Fisher made a phone call and started to get the word out. Vinny Ferreri from Queen City also facilitated a lot of help in this and made several phone calls on my behalf and got the ball rolling with a gentleman by the name of Chad Booth and Chad Walden. Chad Booth said, "Go ahead, take my pontoon." He told his other friend Chad, grab the keys. He told him where it was. And it's kind of funny, a little funny. I'll tell you a little bit later. But I was able to meet. Chad contacted me, told me the story. Joey Randall was another person who made a ton of phone calls on my behalf. And anyways, Chad Booth said to his other friend Chad, "Go ahead and take my pontoon." So I met up with Chad Walden, and we met up at the campground. And he had keys to the pontoon, but didn't know what pontoon it was. So here we are in all the pontoons. Keys, man, we're probably gonna get shot. And finally, one of them cranks up, and he calls his friend. He's like, "All right, thanks, we got it." He's like, "Yeah, I haven't started that motor since October, man. I'm glad it cranked up." So, anyways, this is Saturday morning, the day of the tournament, and we get on the pontoon. We get there, and you know, a pontoon on the river, and the river current's not the best thing to be, you know, for precision. So we get up 2-3 miles, and then we see it. Its rear end is sticking out. There's a log here. Everything's submerged, and the rear end is sticking out with the hand, my flag, my safety flag. Like, there it is. And we had a big rope and a big clamp. So we clamped the end, and we went in reverse, and we pulled the kayak out, and it popped up full of water. I mean, to sink a Hobie, I mean, I don't even know what you have to do. Those things are remarkable. And it popped up, and it was full of water, but it was like half in. So by a miracle of God, there was a small cut right there, and he was able to reverse in the current, and we were able to get that kayak flipped over to drain some of the water, and eventually turned it upright to drain it all out. One of the craziest things was that when we flipped it over, the Garmin unit was still running. And the Dakota Lithium box in the front, seriously, the Dakota Lithium box in the front hatch was still lit up, flashlights powering the Garmin. I wish I had my GoPro running. That's a great promotion for those companies.
That's a commercial right
awesome.
there.
It totally is.
There you go, Craig Storms. Go ahead and run with that.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end there, man. I mean, this guy, Chad Walden, I mean, he was so, like, just a wonderful, wonderful human being. He was calling me sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To like I was some cop that arrested him. He's some adolescent, kid.
He knows your vocabulary. He was very intimidated.
No, man. No, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's just such a remarkable guy. So after all this, what does he do? He lends me his Outback. He gives me 3 rods and a Plano edge box with like a spinner, some biz baits, a couple of batter baits. I said, whatever you got, but if you got some spinner baits, that's what I know. I'll just throw all day. So he gave it to me. He's like, go get him. It was like 9:45. So I put it on my bed, and I said, Maria, let's just race up to the launch. I got to the launch. Launch was about 10 o'clock, and I just made the run. And I tried to go to all the spots. I know that Cody hit them all, and John hit them all, but they were still there. And in the spot that Cody knows I'm talking about, on 3 casts, I lost maybe a 3-pounder and a 6-pounder. I would have had a much better day, but I was still able to limit and cash a check, which made me feel pretty good. But
Heck yeah.
I think I was in shock, or running on adrenaline, because
do you think Chad's rods were bad, or do you think his hooks were dull? Which one made you lose the fish?
I don't know.
Chad's not watching. You can tell the truth.
Well, one of the fish hit the Megabass swim with Uozi, and the other one crushed the spinner. They crushed it, and I had him on for a while. The three got off right at the surface where I could see him, but the 6 was on for quite a while. Chad had a 8, what seemed like an 80-pound net on the boat. And I'm just, how does he deal with this? And it was real shallow too, like the fish will just flop out. But beggars can't be choosers. I got the net out, man. That thing just spit it.
Oh, wait a minute. Chad is watching. Chad's in the comments.
Chad gave you an extra heavy, slow ride on that spinnerbait. He said, "I got you, boy."
You're a wonderful human being, Chad.
No, he is, man. It was great. It was great. He gave me 3 rods. They were rigged up perfect for what I needed to do, and I was taking my time with the snags, because you get snagged all the time in the river. So I didn't want to pull and snap, because I only had 1 double willow leaf spinnerbait. Things I needed to do. I had 1 pack of Gary Yamamoto. He had a pack of Gary Yamamoto yellow white paddle tails, and I was using I think the key was my trailer. I was using a Terminator half-ounce golden and silver willow leaf with a Kitech 3.3 fat impact. And sometimes they'd rip that trailer off, and I'd get lazy and I'd take the trailer off, and I would throw it without the trailer to see if they'd still hit it. But nothing hit it without that trailer. Little paddle tail was key, bouncing along the bottom of the rocks there. It was an insane experience, and one that I really don't want to relive. But I also think one that's gonna probably change me permanently for the better. Just not only maybe as a fisherman and an angler, but perspective in life in general, and just even more so trying to embrace the day and to live life to its fullest.
What an unbelievable story, man.
It should change a lot of people, I think, especially people that fish in cold water conditions. I mean, that's a huge, you always, like you said, you always think it can't happen to you, but in reality, it can happen to anyone at any time, especially in current.
Especially in current, exactly. So, just wear it. It's a PFD. Just wear it. I don't know catchy slogans or what I might be able to say to get you to do it. It's just something that you're going to have to do, get in the habit of, and try not to forget. It will definitely make a difference and get you back to the people that you love. And that love you.
And that goes for lake, river, or wherever you're
I'm
at.
glad you're still here with us, man.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate that. And, there's lots more things to create and do in this space, and we can do it together, man. We're all of us brothers.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
We're wrapped in a creamy blanket, Dusty. You and I are wrapped in a creamy blanket of fishing.
A creamy blanket of a billion stars. It was.
I want to go back to something you wrote.
I
I want to go back to something else you wrote it in your description of what happened. But you said, I think in your...
Hold on, I got my blanket over here. Let me put my blanket away. All right, what's up?
When you in your write up there, and seriously, I know we kind of laughed about your use of words on social media.
It's ridiculous. I sound like I'm like some 19th century machinist or something writing to his mom.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. It makes the internet better. But in your write up of what happened, you know, some of the stuff about looking up and I think a crane looked you in the eye. Dude, I mean, seriously, was things slow down that much?
That thing stared at me in the eye, right in the eye. He's like, I can't help you. That guy like looked at me.
So there was a real connection there. Something happened.
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just had to know. I had to know it was real.
He was looking at him like dinner's what he was thinking. He's like, I'm not going to get that down in a minute.
I'm going to pick his eyeballs out, man. That's crazy.
Oh, this is taking a terrible turn.
I know. Sorry, man. Ryan started it.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Ryan started it. Thanks for the laugh, though. I need the laugh, man.
Don't worry.
I definitely need the laugh.
Need the laughs. Yeah, unreal, man. I mean, Cody, you were there. What was the vibe around the river and around, you know, the chatter of what happened over there?
I mean, mainly because like we didn't know much other than, you know, a misspelled emergency text and like a couple calls for a second. So I mean, for a second there, like, yeah, I thought it was like, you know, like really, really bad. I mean, it was obviously bad, but you know, I mean, once we kind of got a hold of him and realized that he was on dry land and okay, I think it felt a little more comfortable. But no, pulling up and like waiting for the cops like to watch Dusty cross the last creek was pretty crazy. There's like just 3-4 cops like watching Dusty try to cross a creek.
So you had to like swim the creek, Dusty?
Yeah.
Is that how that went?
In order to get rescued, I had to go back in the damn creek in 5 feet.
They wouldn't do anything. They were watching him from far above.
Hey man, we're gonna come get you, but can you get past this other creek real quick? You good?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
They didn't even walk down to the creek until I did.
Oh my God! So I was hoping there was like
from the road.
There wasn't like an airlift or anything coming in to get you.
Not in South Carolina.
Once I knew I was safe, I didn't want to do anything to like to give me a bill for like emergency service. I denied everything. I just denied
you
everything.
Called him back like, I'm good. My friends are here now. You can go on.
I got a video of the game warden coming to me. He's like, "Are you sure you're all right?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good." I'm like, my boat's gone and my gear's gone, but I'm good, man. I don't need anything. I feel all right. I'm not injured.
I'm good.
Because as soon as you sit in that ambulance, $500.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. That's hilarious.
Oh my goodness! But did you cash a check? Did you cash a check in this tournament?
Yeah.
All right then.
Yep.
You're good. You're winning. You're winning.
I'm winning.
Boy, look at that.
I'm winning.
The comments are getting out of hand too. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yeah.
So I just want to make sure.
I knew this would be a good one.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I thanked everybody. I think I did. Vinny Ferrari, Joey Rando, Christine Fisher, Chad Booth, Chad Walden, the whole community. You know, everybody that's reached out and messaged me personally and publicly on the posts. I really hope some goods comes from this, and I think it has.
Yeah, for sure, man. We can all learn from incident. We're just glad we're learning with you on here, on the show with us, talking about it.
Yes. I think the last thing our sport needs is,
more tragedy.
Yeah, more tragedy. Right.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Exactly.
Yep, we don't need that. And the KBN group page wouldn't be good without you balancing out the bad grammar over there.
Well, I don't know if we want to get on that topic, but
Oh my god!
there's so much potential for the KBN platform, and sometimes I feel it's accosted by like
Nah, we're good.
weird stuff.
We're good, bro.
It definitely weird stuff.
There's also a place for that, man. Satire and stuff like that. It's necessary too, man, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're just glad you're part of it. And we're glad you're around, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Unreal stuff. Anybody out in the comments, if they got any questions for Cody about the tournament, or Dusty about the tournament, or Dusty about his experience, throw them in the comments. And Dusty, we're sitting there calling you Dusty Yakker. Do you want to break down your actual real? Is it AKA Dustin or AKA Dusty?
No. My real name is Dustin Murguia.
Yeah, that's right.
Dusty Yakker came about because I just wanted to make a quick Facebook profile real quick so my students wouldn't find me. And I was in a hurry because that's a whole nother story, man. That's even wild. If you got kids, take your phone away from them and your laptop away. It is rotten to the core, bro. But I was racing to make that profile because that was like the week that I met somebody at a ramp at a little forest preserve here that told me all about this. That there are actually kayak tournaments that actually use an app, and all you need is a kayak and a board. You can just fit. I mean, I never even knew that existed, and I was blown away by it. And that literally changed my life. I looked up KBF and the Illinois Kayak League, the Illinois Kayak Bass League, and the rest is history.
Awesome.
Nice.
Looks like we got a question for Cody. Maverick Blair, did you end up in dirty water? I guess he means you fish in dirty water, Cody.
It was actually most of it was all really, really clean, and then it kind of got to dirty water where I could get him in a spinnerbait a little better in the kind of the end of the day.
Okay. And we got another question for the two of you. Parker Carnes asking what setup you're and pound test are y'all running for spinnerbaits. I guess Dusty's running whatever he could get from Chad.
I think I had I don't even know the rod. It was a medium heavy rod. That's a medium heavy is what I throw it on. And it was, I think it was a lose reel, whatever. I think it might have had 15 or 17 pound line. That's close to my setup. I had a Shimano Corrado DC with 17 pound test on a Daiwa Tatsula Elite medium heavy spinnerbait rod.
I was using 20-pound Gamma, which if you have never used Gamma fluorocarbon, I promise you it is the strongest fluorocarbon there is.
Yes, it is.
It is so strong.
It's crazy.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's 7-pound line. Like that, like on my last fish, I had a 7-pound line just towed it up out of a brush pile. Like no abrasions, nothing. It's crazy. But I was using 20-pound Gamma, fortunately, in the 7.4. It's like their all-purpose casting rod with a loose reel.
Okay.
I don't even know what gear ratio it was because I was like barely turning the handle. I don't think it would have mattered.
I had a low gear ratio. It was the 1 Corrado 150. The gear ratio in the 6. I think it was 6 to 3 to 1 or something.
Were you running that same pattern, Dusty, keeping it low, bumping it off stuff?
That was the key. If I was reeling fast and that thing was a foot or two on the surface, no bites. So the key was something I really always do. I don't really fish spinnerbaits too much where I can see them. I mean, when that bite's on, that's cool. I think that's the mistake a lot of people make. They burn a spinnerbait because that's what they see other people doing, and they fish it where they can see it. There's nothing wrong with that. When that bite's there, it's solid. I don't like to see my blades. I mean, no matter how clear the water is or not. So what I like to do is cast it out and rip it with my rod and get those blades moving, like get them moving. And let it drift down, let it sink down. And with heavier spinnerbaits, it's much more conducive.
Yep.
So you let it sink down while those things are fluttering. Get it on the bottom and just slowly get that stuff fluttering, making contact with whatever's on the bottom. That's when they pop it. No other time else.
Awesome stuff.
How much of your gear did you recover?
I recovered the 2 rods I would have loved to have lost. The rod, one of the rods, the St. Croix glass, that was it's a 6.2 medium square bill rod. It's one of my, and I did recover my drop shot rod, but all my premium, combos, they're gone. The Mega Bass my 2 Mega Bass jerkbait boxes thankfully stayed in the H crate. When we recovered the kayak on the front of the pontoon, he relaunched me, and I had no seat because I lost my vantage seat. So I have a kayak with no seat.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, and so I sat in the kayak holding the H rails, pedaling to go to these little trees to see if like the little debris had all my tackle in it. I was able to find my square bill box, lipless box, some floating Ziploc bags with like plastics, and I did recover some stuff, and it was great because I got the kayak, the drive, my Garmin, the battery, a couple rods, and some gear, so it wasn't a total loss.
So you were in a pro angler, yes?
I flipped in a PA-12, yeah, and then he gave me the Outback to make the run again.
Okay. I have a spare Outback seat if anybody ever runs into the situation where they need that. But I've got a few reels. I've got a couple Abu reels and a Daiwa reel. If you will send me your address, I'll get those to you and get you back running, man.
Oh, brother, that's such a generous offer, man. I'll message you some details. Duke and Catch have just, I mean, I can't even say enough about what they do for me. Duke and Catch have really stepped up, and I think that they're going to help me out with some of that. But again, brother, that's such a generous offer, and I will message you about that.
Yeah, no problem, man. They're just sitting on the shelf.
When the broadcast is done, are you going to Bo?
I'm not going to Brobo. I will be at I'd say Dardanelle's probably my next big one, and then I'm going to try to finish out the Hobie circuit after that. I hope.
Okay.
I knew Dardanelle was going to happen. I knew it in my soul, Ryan.
Yeah, I really want to go to Bo.
Man, shut up, Jeff. Get out of here.
I try to make it to Bo. We'll see what happens in the next 24 hours.
You're going to be at Broken Bow. Okay, that's one of the other questions is for both of you guys, I guess. What's y'all's next tournament? What are y'all looking forward to for the rest of the year from Todd Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on. I'm waiting. I think Russ Snyder's is like about to walk in the door and sleep for a few hours, and I think we're gonna head on to Broken Bow in the morning. So check some more out and kind of go from there. But I'm actually heading down to Fork after that too. So yeah,
good stuff.
Well, I mean, for me, I have an open schedule, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to like seeing how my perspective changes. Because of this, I think that I'm gonna not put so much importance on the physical grind and the mental grind, and sort of relax a little bit, and that might even be better for my fishing strategy. So we'll sort of see how these adjustments unfold.
Yeah, awesome. Hopefully, I'll be at Broken Bow as well, so hopefully see you guys down there. Maybe we'll have a little KBN gathering somewhere.
For sure,
open. That'd be fun.
Enjoy, boys.
We'll miss you, Ryan. We'll see you at Dardanelle, though. Like I knew I always would.
Oh man, don't remind me.
Yeah. Let's see. Any more questions? One more question on spinnerbaits, fellas. Any preference Willow versus Colorado blades?
Man, it's blade combos is a really big deal with spinnerbaits.
Yeah, it is.
I threw a lot of spinnerbaits and didn't catch a fish this week on a spinnerbait. And yeah, for one, I didn't catch a fish on a Colorado. Couldn't get a bite on it hardly. But I think that's when you're fluttering a spinnerbait, you really need double willows. I mean, it gets down faster. They flutter better. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, at the same time, I mean, sometimes you can hold a spinnerbait better with a little Colorado in front of that willow. So I mean, it's or if it's a little more stained.
That's what I like to throw.
Yeah, the willow, the Colorado willow combo. Little more vibration, a little better.
Yep.
Dirty water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I like double Colorados and that really muddy stuff, and a big giant single Colorado thumper at night.
Oh yeah. Those are fun.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. What a great night we've had, guys. Great interview with Cody, and then unbelievable story from Dusty, man. Thanks for sharing that. I know that was tough for you to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it probably still is. But I mean, bring it. You can't kill me.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Can't get rid of me, man. I don't know. We'll see what's up, man. Maybe this means big things for Dusty Yakker. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Resurrected.
Let's see it.
I make an alias. Who knows?
Let's see it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna make it happen. Broken bow would be the cherry on top, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Race down there and try to do well, and borrowed gear and a few lures.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's gonna be fun times. Anything else from anybody out in the crowd? Let's get it before we get these guys out of here. We've been going about an hour, getting up against it. It's been an awesome night. A lot of fun comments and fun combos here.
Hey, real quick, if I could.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe I should have thought about this before I said. I think it's Patrick DeGuys. He was kind enough to send me these identifiers, and I just wanted to give him a big shout, man. These things work really well.
Is that the metal ones? The tin?
Yeah. I think they're aluminum, and they fit on the back of the catch ID holders. These ones, and it's a slick setup, and it was really super convenient to just fold it over and slide under the Outback chair and pop it up. I didn't have to think about an identifier, and I was one of those guys that had it loose. I would have it loose, on my person, and when I caught a fish, I'd pop it out and I'd put it, somewhere in the picture, and I was successful that way. But anything less to worry about on that yak or any nod towards efficiency is always a good thing. So Patrick DeGuys is his name, and I've seen a lot of people posting about these. It's a pretty cool product.
Cool. Yeah, I hadn't actually heard a first-hand account of those things, even though I've seen them on social media. So good to hear they're
Queen City's all up on them, man. Queen City's got that stuff rolling.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Ryan, you got anything else for us tonight, man? Before we go,
I'm good, bud. I'm good. I'm gonna get some dinner here in a minute.
all right. Well, I guess I'll see.
Where are you at, Ryan? Where are you at?
Knoxville, Tennessee, buddy.
Okay, awesome. You in a hotel room?
Yes, sir.
He's working, man. He's doing this in his off hours.
Oh, he's got to get that lunch money.
That's right. Yeah, he's made enough in Knoxville. Now he's making his real job money up there.
Cleaning house, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Awesome stuff. Well, yeah, awesome show tonight, y'all. Appreciate y'all taking the time and sharing the stories of the tournament win and your story, Dusty. I guess we'll see you both at Broken Bow. I know registration for that ends Wednesday night. So if you guys are on the fence, if you're watching, get out there. And if you're going to be there, hit me up and we'll maybe do a little KBN gathering somewhere at one of the restaurants there in town. That'll be fun.
Absolutely.
And then I think did Lake Fork extend their entry till tonight, or was it last night?
Yes, yeah, yesterday I think.
Yesterday.
Or no,
okay.
I think it was. They extended it to yesterday.
So tournament season is here, and they're falling one after the other real quick. So fun times ahead. But yeah, great night. Thanks everybody for watching. Gonna get out of here. We'll see y'all next Monday, hopefully with winner of Broken Bow.
Good luck. Be safe.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Man, have a great evening.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we're gone. Appreciate it.
Y'all take care.
Yeah.
See ya.